Hello there, welcome back again. It's a beautiful day, another day that you're going to learn and be equipped with financial literacy. A wise man once said, when you have a screwdriver, it cannot help you if all you have is nails. So it's important to have financial education first before you make any financial decision when it comes to financial literacy. So in today's video, we are getting back to our money talks, which I usually do once a week. And we are back for the new year. Be ready with your money goals. I know most of us have already set our financial goals for the year. And if you want to know how to save and invest wisely, today I'm going to lead you, to guide you on how you're going to set up a money market fund and all the advantages and all you need to know about money markets. So stick around and let's begin this. If you're new, I'm Sheila. This is Sheila's World. Welcome again. We learn so much here when it comes to money, lifestyle, and so much more. So please consider subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed, I don't know why, but please consider subscribing so that we continue growing the channel. Let me get some water, then we continue with the topic. So let's get down to business. So as I had said earlier, we are going to discuss about how we can set up a money market fund and what you need when it comes to setting up one. I've talked about this before in my other videos. It's only that I think I keep getting new people who join. And if I can tell you, maybe you can refer for more information in my previous video. I think I linked them up there. I have a topic I've talked about emergency fund where I've mentioned a little bit about money markets and also savings. Any video that I've posted about savings, emergency fund, anything about money discussion, I think I've mentioned money market. But since it's the beginning of the year and majority of us, we always begin with high financial goals. This is the time most people they change their habits when it comes to saving and investments. So if you are not saving, let's say the previous year, this is the right time to start. Now, what most people suffer from is they don't know how to or where to save and invest. So that's where we come in as financial advisors. Yeah, because besides me being a mother, I'm also a financial advisor, and most people approach me when it comes to money matters. And whenever they want to make financial decision, they consult. So you can as well reach out to whoever you know as a financial advisor for more advice, because here I'm just giving basic information. Then you can find out more before starting anything so that you don't get scammed. Because if you're not careful, there are also people out there who are scammers. You might find your money in places that you didn't expect. So make sure first companies that you're intending to invest with, especially make sure the companies they are licensed and regulated. In Kenya, they're regulated by the Capital Markets Authority. And since I know I already have international followers, I believe even in your countries you have a regulator when it comes to investment so that you're not misled. So in Kenya, in our Kenyan money market fund, it's very simple. First, I need to just remind you what is money market fund, because I believe there are some people who still inbox me and ask me about like what is it, how does it work. So, and one thing you need to understand is you don't need a lot of money to think of investing. That is one of the financial mistakes some of us made early on when we were beginning our careers. So there are things I know now that if I knew when I was in my 20s, I think I would be a billionaire by now. It's only that when you are young, you think you have a lot of time. So you really keep postponing investments, and it's very wrong. Start with what you have. The good thing in Kenya currently, and not just in Kenya, I believe in every other country, the minimum amount that you can start investing with is very little. With as little as 100 Kenyan shillings, you can start your investment journey. The only thing that you need to know is that you need to commit. Because if you can't manage 100 shillings, even if someone gives you 1,000,000, you still can't manage that money. So it's good to learn those financial management skills early enough with the little that you have, so that when you expand, because if you do it well over time, you'll become a millionaire. So you need to start with what you have, and that's why nowadays, initially money market, the unit trust funds, money market falls under an umbrella called unit trust, which consists of several funds under it. Money market is just one of them. I've mentioned that before in my emergency fund video, so maybe you can go back there and refer. So initially it used to be very expensive. The minimum needed there was around 500,000. That was like 10 years ago. But currently things have changed, and that's why it's good you take advantage of that. If you've never started investing, this is the right time. As little as 100 Kenyan shillings, 500 Kenyan shillings, 1,000, any amount that you have, you can actually start your investment journey. And from there, you will have cultivated that culture of saving. And trust me, over time, you'll be happy that you started. So first, I'll just remind you a bit about what money market funds are. These are basically collective investments, whereby investors collect people's money, your money, my money, and any other. That's why it's called collective. Many people contributing towards the fund, and then the money is invested in short-term securities or treasury bills and the treasury bonds. So treasury bills is just government lending, government borrowing, like government borrowing the fund managers, and then they promise to return with a certain rate which is guaranteed. And that's why most people prefer money markets. Money market is very safe because the risk is very low, and also your capital is preserved. So if you are a conservative investor, if you are afraid of losing your money, or you think you don't want to risk your money, but again, if you are young, I can advise you try the high risk investments as well, because you have time. Maybe for the old people, I can tell them just be safe with money markets. But money market is not the only way where you can invest your money. I'll still give you a list of others that you can look at and maybe consider later. So with the money market, it's very simple. It's just you pull together of resources with other like-minded individuals. So the advantage is when you work with a group, large numbers, we call it economies of scale. There's that advantage of large numbers. With your 1,000 or with your 5,000 Kenyan shillings, you're likely to invest in the government securities, the government bonds and treasury bills. And like if you do it on your own, the minimum requirement, the minimum amount that will be needed, it's a lot. You might not raise it on your own, but when you're investing in a mutual fund, like let's say ICA Lion Group, there's Britam, there's Old Mutual in Kenya, and also in other countries, you can look around where the money markets. I'm sure it's not just here that we have it. So that advantage of many people investing, you spread the risk. You're just not alone. And then you're able to access the treasury bills and bonds that you could not have accessed it if you are doing it on your own. Then another advantage is you just need to concentrate on your work. If you're a lawyer, just concentrate on your work and let the experts do the part of investing for you. So what you need to do is just get to know how much you want to save. Decide how much you want to start with. Especially now, I've met a lot of people who are starting their savings journey and investments in the new year. And that's where everyone, I'm sure, even if you're watching me, I know you've set your financial goals for the year. You are targeting to raise some money at the end of the year. Some are already in the 52 weeks of saving. If you've not started, you're being left behind. Please find out about the 52 weeks of saving. We are already in it. This is our 3rd week. Yes. So don't be left behind. We are saving for holidays. We are saving for, what else? You know, there are those dreams that you have. These are the only places that you can save. So like I said in my previous videos about the 52 weeks of saving, I prefer doing my savings through the money market funds, because of the fact that it still earns interest as I save. So at the end of the year, when I'm about to maybe to withdraw my money and get whatever I wanted to get with, it will have some interest. So that is the advantage, because the money is, you can save in short term. So if you're focusing on short term investment, you can choose the money market funds, because the principle is safe. What do I mean by this? It means if you're investing, let's say you are 10,000 Kenyan shillings, the interest rate varies between 8 to 10%. So it's either I get the 8% interest rate on my 10,000, then but I cannot lose my 10,000. So whatever is charged, the management fee and the tax, it's only charged on interest. It's not charged on your principal. Your principal amount is the initial amount that you put in your fund. So it's very secure. You cannot lose your money. And the good thing with the difference between money markets and bank, because you have an option of also saving in the banks, but the bank, the disadvantage is the rate given, the rate of return is way low. It's below the inflation rate. I don't know if you know what is inflation rate. The rising of prices of commodities and services. Currently, I think it's around, in Kenya, it's around 6%. So you're not supposed to get anything, if you are doing an investment, you're not supposed to get anything below that 6%. So if you're doing an investment that you're getting below that, then you better change it very fast. So like money markets, the minimum so far, like where I invest with the ACL Lion. So the minimum we've, even during the COVID times that we've gotten is 8%. That is after tax and after the management fee of 2%. So be also, you need to be alert, since some companies they post gross, that is before tax. So you might think some companies are giving you higher rates than the others, but in real sense they've not removed the tax and the management fee. So make sure whenever you are looking into investing in any company, just ask them whether is that after tax, is that the net profit, or is it the gross profit before tax. It's good so that you're not influenced to join something then later you regret. So that is one of the importance of, or the reason why you should invest in money market, because of the interest rate offered is way better than the one that you're offered in your fixed accounts. And also accessibility in the sense that when you need your money, I believe like in banks, in fixed accounts, you have to fix the money within a certain period, let's say 6 months or even 12 months, for them to give you a better interest, not even better, maybe 6% or the 8%. With money market, there's nothing like fixing your money. You can access your money within 2 to 3 working days. That's, I think, across the industry. But where my money is, that's how we take. If I apply for my money today, by tomorrow evening it will be in my account. So it's very quick whenever you want to access your money. And that's why it's also a good place whenever you are thinking of setting up your emergency fund. So money market the accessibility is very easy. There are no restrictions and there are no charges. Charges are only if you withdraw money twice a month. But once a month it's free, I think, in every company. But where I invest is free. We are not charged anything. And also, since it's regulated, you need to be to make sure that ask all those questions. Whichever company you open a money market account with, make sure you ask the question whether, as it is it regulated by the Capital Markets Authority, because there are products that companies offer that mislead people. You think it's being regulated, but it's a totally different product, but they call it money market. There's been an issue in the past here in our country where there's a company, I can't name them, but I'm sure if you're in Kenya, you know, they misled people that they were investing in money market, but it was something long term. And when COVID hit and people needed their money, they could not access. So be very careful whenever you want to open an account with any organization. Just take your time and research. And that's why I said it's very important to have a financial advisor, a professional financial advisor who can guide you, and they can advise which are the best companies when it comes to saving with. Because I believe like people are they're still not trusting some organization because of that incident. It just happened not long ago. So make sure the company is regulated by the Capital Markets Authority. So another advantage of saving with the money market fund is the fact that we have that professional, the expertise, the fund managers. These are professionals, people who are really qualified. They do a lot of research before investing your money. So chances of losing money in money market fund are very minimal. You can only lose in those other products that like the one I've just mentioned, that a company was selling to people thinking it's money market fund, but they later through courts, I don't know what happened. But just make sure the money market fund that you're investing in is regulated by the Capital Markets Authority. That's the only real money market fund. We have others in the market, they use the same name, but they are not money markets. So this is something that is managed by professionals, qualified fund managers, and you don't need to be stressed about where. It's not like if you invest directly in shares, because you have an option also doing it on your own. But why are you doing through a mutual fund? It's because of that sometimes you don't have the experience or you don't have the expertise in investments. And also the time. Do you have the time of running from one company or to another, or keep checking in the stock market which stocks are being auctioned, or so it's you leave it to the professionals to do it for you, and you just get your interest. So it gives you that peace of mind in that your work is just do your work. If you're a lawyer, if you're a teacher, you concentrate on that one and then let the investors do the work for you. So if you've not started any of these savings, this is the time. This is the time, the new year. Please don't let it pass. Don't let January pass if you've not started your saving journey. As I told you, you can start with as low as 100, 500, and currently we even have digital platform. I'm sure all over Nairobi, or I don't know, it's around the country. You've seen billboards on platforms that you can easily open the account. It's very simple. Just follow the instruction, and before you know it, you've already set up your account wherever you are. You don't have to walk into any office. As long as you've researched about the company and you know that it's legit, just have the confidence and open the account. So the choice of the fund, as I told you, money market is just one of the funds that you can invest in. So we also have bond fund, which still doesn't need a lot of money. It's meant just for anyone. So don't fear those bond, and you've heard of treasury bills, treasury bonds. It's not like you need a lot of money to invest in those funds. Just find out. So I can tell you, with as little as 5,000, you can still invest in bonds. We have corporate bonds, and we have the treasury bonds for government. So still under these companies, the fund managers, you can still invest in bonds through them if you don't want to go through the central bank. And central bank, I think the minimum for individual investor is a bit high. You need around 50,000 to start one. Yeah, if you have the time, you can go directly. But for people who still don't have a lot of knowledge when it comes to investment, still use the fund managers. They don't charge a lot. They only charge 2% to do the work for you, and they charge on interest, not on your principal, not on the fund, that the money that you've already deposited with them. So it's only after they've made the interest, that's when they take their share of 2%. So it's not like you're going to lose your money when you use fund managers. So use experts. So there's bond fund, there's treasury, there's treasury bond, and then there's growth fund. So all these you need to know. Money market is just one of them, which is very popular and everyone knows. That's what people ask about. But we still have others that their yields can be higher. But anything with high yield, it comes with its own risk. So if you're willing to take risks, you can as well go ahead and start a bond fund. Just one of them, the units in a unit trust. So unit trust is that umbrella that money market, bond, treasury bills, growth fund, they fall under. So whenever you're talking to your financial advisor, let them take you through all those funds so that you make your decision. Because for someone who's looking into investing more than 3 years, I would not advise just to put all your money in the money markets. Money market is good, but for short-term investments, it's just where you park your money temporarily as you think of a better investment. And that's why the rates are pretty low, but safe, but better than banks. So money market, take it as a parking lot. You just park your money as you wait for the next place where you're going to transfer it. So for investors who are looking into doing more longer than 1 year, 3 years, I would advise you look into bond fund. So bond fund, there's infrastructure bond for government that is a bit long term. So those are for investors who are looking into 10 years. You can do the infrastructure bonds, but then the rates of return there are pretty good. The minimum, like what the government offers, is around 13%. So compare between 8% and 13%. So you find the bonds yield higher, but the risk is also high because you are never guaranteed. You are not sure whether the money will. But with government, it's assured. Government, but you have to lock the money long term. So it's also about, you need to consider, you should factor in time. How long are you willing to invest the money? Then factor in your goals. What are your goals? And also your age. For older people, I would not advise someone to do those long-term bonds. It's safer, like when you're doing you want to invest your pension. Money market is just the safest for people who don't have a lot of time ahead of them. But for younger guys, if you're in your 30s, if you're in your 20s and you're starting your investment journey, once you've accumulated your money in money market fund, transfer some of that money in the bond fund. Or you just test, like you have all the time. You can wait even 10 years. Don't rush. Don't invest money to use it tomorrow. Investment takes time. And I believe most of us are very impatient, especially our young people. I meet a lot of people. I talk to a lot of people in my workplace, and I don't understand why young people fear long-term investments. And they're the ones with all the time on their side. But then you meet these people who already, they've worked many years, people in their 50s. Those are people who now consider long-term savings because they are regretting why they never started then. You see, when you're up there, you know what. Someone who's down there cannot tell the journey to where you are. So the older people, in fact, guys, if you want to invest, talk to our senior citizens. They can advise you better. They've made mistakes along the way that if they tell you, you can actually learn from them and start early. So let's not make the mistake of postponing things. Procrastination. Let's start investment journey now, today. If you've not opened any money market account, start today and commit so that your money grows. What else have I not talked about? Okay, lastly, I wanted to talk about how to set up, because that is one of the questions I've gotten a lot. I still get inboxes. My Facebook inbox is full with you guys asking how can someone start. So it depends with an organization. First, I said you visit whichever organization. Like in Kenya, we have CIC, we have Britam, we have ICA. So find out from those. Just visit the office. That's the first step. If you trust the company enough, try and find out whether they have an online platform. Online platform like in ICA Lion, it's very simple. We have that the online DigiTrust, where you can easily set up from wherever you are. You just need to have your ID identification card in soft and your KRA PIN, and you are ready to start. So the moment you just Google the invest.icalion.com and you start. It's not hard, because if in case you stuck, they still have the WhatsApp, the WhatsApp Leo that chats with people. So you can still chat with them and you are guided how to go about it, and you set up your account. It's very simple, and within no time you'll have set up your account. Alternatively, you can still request for a physical form. Contacts are all over the website. And people, my Facebook group, I'm sure you people have already talked to you and forwarded whatever the necessary things that guys had requested there about how to join. So just find out from those organizations, and also seek the help of your financial advisor. Get professional help from qualified financial advisors. So I think that's all for today. And if you've stuck to this point, I appreciate you a lot. And please, if you haven't subscribed, I still remind you to subscribe. And next time we're going to discuss about retirement, because I know you're talking of money market, but there's old age that most people, I'm sure, I don't know, maybe your employer has set up a retirement fund for you, but you also need to think of doing it on your own. So I think the next topic we'll discuss is on retirement, because it's equally important. When you're thinking of financial management, you need to think of, do you have enough retirement plan? Like, do you have enough contribution towards your retirement? So thanks a lot for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification button, and we'll catch up again later. Ciao. Thanks a lot.